Good morning, brand builders. Okay, so I've just completed a series on the audience journey, right? So the audience journey is, it sounds like a complicated kind of setup, but to be honest, it's fairly simple. It's what all, the stories and films and even our own lives are made of, right? We go through different stages and we face obstacles and then we overcome them. The same case with your audience on their journey from not knowing about your brand, not being your customer, to being your customer, right? So that is the journey. Anyway, now one of the most important, I would say, pillars of this audience journey and how you market to your audience, how do you communicate with your audience is the issue of pricing. Now, I've done a couple of videos in the past about pricing and how I always, harp on about not reducing your prices. In fact, increasing your prices and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to revisit that for just a second in this video because pricing is a confusing thing. Now, if you look at your business, okay, if you're starting out, then you probably are not still aware of the power of pricing. You may have certain ideas on pricing for your product or service, and you're saying, okay, different methods of calculating pricing. And one could be based on a profit projection. So I want to make 10% profit, 20% profits on top of the expenses and so on. So there are different methods of calculating pricing. Now, pricing strategy is a different topic, so I'll not go into that. But what I want to address is the mindset with pricing. And if you're in business already and you know that when the times start getting tough, when your sales are dropping, when you're finding it hard to get customers, what is the first thing you do? Typically, it is to look at the pricing and think that maybe we're expensive and that's why we're not getting the customers. Therefore, either reduce the pricing or offer discounts, which is, something similar, right? Now, 8 times out of 10, that is really not the case. And it's a misguided thought process. And I'll tell you why. Now, getting customers, as I've discussed over, hundreds of videos, it's not based on one particular aspect. Of course, I always say that it's based on the brand story and the messaging. Yes, true, but there are also other pillars that enable this process to happen, that help your audience through that journey, right? Getting to know your brand, becoming aware of your brand, getting to know your brand, and then trusting your brand enough to buy from you, right? Or to become your kind of a community member or whatever it is that you want your audience to do. And pricing really is not something that you can flip a switch that will increase your sales. Now, it would work under certain circumstances, and it does work in the short term, but in the long term, it's a zero-sum game, right? Now, if you're looking at your competitors and they're offering something for X dollars, or pounds or P's or whatever it is, and you are doing it for X plus 10% or 20%. Now you might think, okay, maybe that's the reason. So let's offer a 10% discount or a 20% discount, or let's just reduce the price and bring it on par or maybe even less than the competitors. Now, that kind of thought process will lead to trouble. I say that pricing is the last thing you need to look at. Now, increasing pricing is actually a great strategy. When your market is reducing prices and they're having price wars, you would be better off by increasing your pricing. But of course, that depends on your product or service, right? If you take a pen that costs, $5, right? And everybody in your market segment is offering it for $5. And if you decide to offer it for $8, then, and if it's the exact same pen, so if it's a commodity, then you're not going to cut it, right? Yes, you may if you brand yourself well, right? So if you build a story around this pen, and it's not really just a commodity anymore, right? It's got a significance. It means something to your audience. Then yes, of course, you can increase your pricing. But typically, pricing increase comes from adding value to your customers, right? So think of what can we add value, right? And of course, this is a stupid example, but just for the sake of this discussion, this video, what can we add value to this pen, or what kind of value can we add to this pen that can justify increasing $1 or $2 on top of the retail value of this pen? It could be a guarantee, which is the most common way of adding value. But then everybody starts offering guarantees. What else can we do? And that's, of course, where branding and messaging comes in. So we will discuss pricing strategies in a separate video. Going back to this thought process of reducing prices or engaging in price wars with your competitors, or even by yourself, right? Don't be tempted to go for attacking your price and trying to reduce this just to drum up some sales, just to drum up customers. Because if you're losing customers, if you're not getting enough customers, yes, pricing could be a reason, but if it's a reasonably priced pricing, right, and you price it so that the client is getting value, more value than the profit you're making, then it is not the pricing. It is your messaging. It is the story you tell. It is how your brand appears. It is the connection between the ad you place on Facebook or Google and the impression that your audience gets when they come to your page or your shopping cart or your social media channel, and the message you're saying and the visuals and how it looks. All these things play a part. So look at that first before attacking your pricing. And be sure to always look at it from the perspective of the value added. Even your message. Your messaging is not, look, I always say this, right? Branding is not marketing. And marketing is actually, a lot of people think that building a brand or branding is marketing, right? It's sales. Actually, okay, sales and marketing are two different things. But branding is actually what enables a company to really become powerful and be able to increase their market share, to increase prices, to increase customer loyalty, to increase word of mouth and all these things. And that happens through your messaging, through your storytelling, through your visuals, and through your customer service, through your engagement online. It does not happen by reducing your price, and try and beat the competitors. Okay. Yeah, it's a simple topic. And for a lot of you guys might be something like, oh, duh, yeah, I mean, it's obvious, right? But it is obvious when you talk about it. When you're in that panic seat and you're seeing your sales dry up and you're finding it harder and harder to get new sales, then yes, that's when you need to sit down and think about this and try and stay away from the temptation of reducing your prices, and look at the other aspects, right? And in fact, it's just like in trading. You know what they say? Even Warren Buffett says this. People buy when actually the share price goes up, right? And it's going up. People buy that. But they say actually when the share prices are going up, sell. When the share prices are going down, right, to a certain extent, is when you buy. Just like that with your pricing. When your market share is falling, or unless of course you are a complete commodity, right? You're selling sugar or I don't know, some kind of a commodity that you cannot add any value to beyond, what everybody else can do. In that case, this video is not for you. I'm talking about products or services where you can add value, you can differentiate with your competitors, where you can go into the blue ocean, right? That's what this video is for, right? Okay, so I hope you found this helpful. If you have questions about this, just drop me a line, and I will try and answer them, right? If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. And click on the bell icon, because the next video will probably be pricing strategy, right? Next week, I might go into the details of how to come up with pricing strategy and how to think about it and so on and so forth. All right. Till my next video, my name is Mash Bunigala, and I will see you next week. Take care.